Hey there. Okay, let's talk about time. Not the big existential kind. That's for another video and probably a glass of something. I'm talking about the slippery little lies we tell ourselves about how long things will or should take. Have you ever said this? I'll just knock out this one thing real quick. Yeah, me too. And then 3 hours later, you're in a Google Docs labyrinth wondering how a quick update turned into a full-blown content audit. This is what psychologists call the planning fallacy. The idea that we consistently underestimate how long tasks will take, even when we've done similar tasks before. And it's not because we're bad at planning, it's because our brains, they're high on hope. Seriously, we're optimistic little time liars. We believe future us is going to be more focused, more energetic, and have fewer distractions. Spoiler alert, future you still checks Slack. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just a personal quirk. It quickly becomes a leadership problem. When you consistently misjudge how long things take, you overcommit, you under-resource. You get reactive instead of proactive and train your team to expect speed over sustainability. I've created what I call Speed Cred, this identity badge we wear like honor. Look at how fast I respond. Look how many things I can juggle. But the truth is, Speed Cred kills quality. It kills sustainability and murders the well-being of you and your team. You can either be fast or you can be wise, not always both. Here's the trap you also need to know about. Every time you get a hit from knocking out a fast task, your brain releases dopamine. It feels good. It reinforces the behavior. So now, instead of working from your priorities, you're chasing the next fastest thing you can finish. And that's how leaders become addicted to faster is better and start buying into that belief. It feels sort of good. But like most things that feel good in the short term, they often have a long-term negative consequence if we aren't wise. And that's why it's not a time management issue. It's a dopamine management issue. It's an energy issue. Now, let me give you something stickier than a Post-it note. Task time truthing. That's your new leadership practice. Before you start something, ask, how long did this actually take last time and what got in the way? What is a truly realistic time frame for this project or maybe just one part of the project? Knowing fully that I'm not the only one involved. Write it down, track it, and use that truth to budget real time. This builds what I call completion confidence, best friend, time accuracy. And if you're not aware of what I mean by completion confidence, I'll be linking to my video on that topic at the end of this video just for you. Now, here's a quick practice that you can use to recalibrate your internal clock. And I love this one. I call it the 30-60-90 rule. Tasks you think will take 30 minutes, budget 60. And tasks you think will take 60, budget 90. Tasks you think will take 90, just don't start them at 4:45 p.m. on a Friday. You'll start building time accuracy and stop being ambushed by your own calendar and the ticking of the clock. Okay, so let's talk about time blocking just for a few seconds. I love this idea when it really got brought into the ether by Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. And I'm a huge fan of his work and his thinking. Time blocking is a powerful tool when used realistically. But here's the pitfall I see all the time and what I experienced when I first attempted to use it. Leaders block 4-hour chunks of time in their calendar thinking they're going to do deep work. And what happens? Calendar chaos. Meetings get scheduled over, something urgent pops up, or you just stare at the blinking cursor wondering where to start. And this is what I call the deep work illusion. It sounds productive and it feels ambitious. But for most of us, it's just not how real life or real work flows. Most of us in leadership roles have to be available sometimes, and we also don't work as solo entities either. And if you're in the service industry or caretaking, it really gets messy. Don't worry though, I discovered something else that works pretty well that lives in the same philosophy. Instead, try this, the 1x3 method. If a project you estimate will take 3 hours, don't block 3 hours all at once. First of all, that sounds overwhelming, and who can work on one thing for 3 hours anyway? Maybe you can. I certainly can. Instead, block 1 hour a day for 3 days. You're not only more likely to keep the commitment, you'll stay fresher, more focused, and it's easier to recover if something gets interrupted. I can easily make a note where I left off and the next action to take when I sit back down to work on that project or task the next day. Deep work is real, and the idea of avoiding distractions is critical. But let's not confuse ideal with practical. Deep work is noble, but leadership is a contact sport. You don't always get to disappear for 4 hours with noise-canceling headphones and a vision board. Oh, to dream. Your calendar needs to serve you, not shame you. When we block a huge chunk of time and we don't keep it for maybe very practical reasons, we start to feel defeated instead of completed. But when you block with a 1x3 mindset, you build momentum without setting yourself up to fail. And that means less guilt, less stress, and yep, more time accuracy. And while we're here, can we talk about meetings just for a second? Half of what makes meetings unproductive is a total lack of clarity. Why are we meeting? What's the agenda? And how long will this really take? We don't just underestimate our own work, we underestimate everything, including meetings. So here's your leadership nudge. If you must have a meeting, start it on time, end it on time, and make sure you've actually given it enough time. A rushed meeting that started late and ended early because no one budgeted realistically, that's not efficiency. That's just a shared panic attack. And let's not forget your team. They're watching you. If you model speed cred and celebrate fast turnarounds over thoughtful work, that's what they'll chase too. Burnout starts there. So instead, try this. Praise preparation, reward process, normalize real timelines. Because the best leaders don't look busy, they look present. All right, here's your next move. This week, pick 3 things on your to-do list and double the time you think they'll take. Just as an experiment, see what happens. Track what actually occurs. And if you finish early, great. Go outside, breathe, and drop me a line and let me know. Also, do some jumping jacks, or take something off your plate instead of piling more on. Remember, you get results from clarity, and rarely ever get bonus points for speed. Completion confidence plus time accuracy equals sustainable leadership, without redlining it and without the burnout blueprint running your life. Let go of speed cred. You got nothing to prove. Drop me a line in the comments and let me know how the planning fallacy shows up for you and how my challenge for you this week actually works out. I'm sure you got some tricks of your own that you've learned too. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe to get more great stuff on how to thrive in a 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!